Hello, everyone, and welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I took my time to do this. It's the Penguin recap. So this is going to be a small recap and very quick regarding this series on HBO Max that premiered a couple of weeks ago. This is the spin-off from the 2022 The Batman film that basically follows the story of Oswald Cobblepot, and it is on the aftermath of what happened in that movie, how the Penguin Oz becomes into power, becomes who this greater persona within the Batman universe, right? This big nemesis of Batman. And this series, extremely well done. Can't say enough things about it, good things about it. The series is produced by Mr. Matt Reeves, who was the director and producer of the Batman, and it's engaging. The way that Matt Reeves described this series is basically Scarface meets The Soprano in the Batman universe. The series wouldn't be possible. I'll say this. Yes, the Batman film was very successful. It was produced on a budget of $185 million to $200 million, and it did gross over $700 million. Okay, but this series would not be possible without some help from the 2019 Joker film. This series it's been described as Scarface meets The Sopranos within the Batman universe. And it is a great description because it is meets the Soprano style. And if you haven't seen The Soprano, you're really missing out on storytelling, mob related TV series on HBO. And so the Penguin itself, the series, on its premiere, okay? It debuted on September 19, just to give you a little bit of numbers on that, because we're going to be talking about that a little later. In the 11-day figure opening, that 11-day figure, according to HBO, outpaced every other current HBO series over the same time frame when it came down to numbers and watch. Okay, so it's compared to House of the Dragon and The Last of Us, two very successful series. So the fact that they're comparing this when it comes to numbers, it actually debuted with more than 5.1 million. And the next week it rised up by 1.6 million, including replays. So that means a lot about this series, that it's a must-watch films. It's very grim and very gritty. Dark, okay? And the beautiful about this series is that it's a standalone, okay? So it is the rise of power, like I said earlier, of the Penguin of Oz, and it is after Falcon's death. Maroni crime family, it's in its own little corner. He already pushed them out, and now it's the Penguin's ambition to take control after the aftermath, right? So once again, spoiler, Batman is nowhere to be seen. There's a lot of things happening in this series so far, and once again, it's every single episode Penguin manages to get himself into trouble and rise above the occasion, right? By episode 3, we get introduced in a deeper level the Maroni crime family and how Penguin is perceived within this universe, and the fact that how much he hates being called the Penguin by everybody else, who really, it's a very derogative name for him. And you can see it in his eyes, even though in that there's so many layers of makeup within the Penguin and Colin Farrell, but you can see how much he brings to the table when it comes to showing his emotion, and when he's showing his capacity to think on the fly. Okay, that's one of the things that shines about him. And yes, he makes a lot of mistakes, but his ability to shift gear on a sec and just be able to come out of it, that makes somebody very, very dangerous within this universe. And again, the first three episodes, amazingly directed. Please do pay attention, especially to episode 3, where they show Victor's backstory with his family and how that affected him at the within the Batman film, and how he became who's becoming who he is as well, because there's a lot of dynamic there because of his because of the tragic story behind him and what drives him. And this series absolutely deserves a watch. And on a deeper level, is also introducing it's also introducing a bigger, I would say not nemesis, but supporting cast. And I'm not talking about a person. Arkham Asylum. I have seen the video games. I haven't played the video games, and within the Batman universe, and in the Batman films they showed a little bit. It actually the first film that shows briefly or makes reference on a deeper level the Arkham Asylum effect on everything within Gotham, because in the film it ties Bruce Wayne's family and the foundation to the Arkham Asylum, and apparently how his mother was there for a brief period. And in episode 4, Sophia's backstory of how she became this persona to everybody's eyes of the Hangman, right? So this is most of the enemies somehow are very tied to Arkham Asylum, and the fact that they are incorporating that idea into the series, to me, is awesome. Okay, so but I am very interested. I want to hear from you guys. If you like this content, if you like this type of recap, it is a conversation. I would love for you guys to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. It does helps me out a lot. I will continue to do not weekly episodes. I will wait a couple of more episodes and then do a recap. But I really appreciate if you want to see more content like this, hit this the link here below.